Hello, people. How's the social medias today? I am getting ready to get started. We are going to make Nemo today. And when you get in here, just hit say hi. Tell me you can hear me. Hello, Lindsay Miller and family. If you can hear me, give me a thumbs up or say I can hear you or something like that. I am also in Facebook. Looks like I have a person, but I don't know who it is. If you can hear me, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. I see you, Shannon. Shannon's my little tester. That's fantastic. Over here on Facebook, if you can hear me, go ahead and tell me so. That would be fantastic. And today we are doing Finding Nemo. And I'm going to do a couple of exercises beforehand. I want you to know that I loved yesterday's class. Yesterday's class of the Little Piggy was like one of my favorites. Hello, Ruby and Lucy. All right, so Instagram's having some issues. I can restart it. How about I restart it and come back into Instagram? And so I'm going to end it and then come right back into Instagram, and hopefully that will help. I will say this. We've been hitting the internet pretty hard these days. So sometimes it's difficult. So I'm going to close my Instagram and come right back, okay? So stay with me. Hello, Amy Bellis and company. We're ready to do Nemo. If you can hear me, I need to see a thumbs up or something. That would be fantastic. Hi, Duffy and the Betterton people. If you can hear me, please tell me. I'm restarting my Instagram. It'd be great if someone could tell me. I heard Instagram was giving me some trouble, so I restarted it. Hopefully that'll be working. If you can hear me, I need a thumbs up. I need some thumbs up. I need some highs. I need to know if you can hear me. All right, I'm seeing some thumbs up. Thank you, Facebook. All right, Instagram, that's great. Lindsay Miller was going to join us, so hopefully she will restart and see us. Hello, Miss Carla Brown and Summer and Evelyn. I don't know, is Charlie out? And Gavin. I keep forgetting about Gavin. I'm so sorry, Gavin. I know you're probably doing Little Fishes. Were you the one who did Hamlet? The Brown, well, it's the Wood family, they have a pig, and they drew a black and white pig because that's what they have. Is that not cool? All right, so I'm going to get started. It sounds like we can hear me and that we are all good. So today we are going to draw Nemo. So I have two things. So I told you yesterday I'd really like it if you had a white crayon. It has to be a regular Crayola crayon, all right? I tried this with a colored pencil that was white, and it did not work. So, and I actually do not own any crayons here. It's like a sin, I know. I can't believe that. I just looked through everything I had here and had no white crayon. So, we'll get to that, but first we're going to do our exercises first. So, this is what we're going to do today. I use, 140-pound watercolor paper. You can buy it anywhere. And to save myself some paper, I actually take this and cut it up in half. So I cut it in half to have 2 pieces of paper. Okay? And then what I actually do, Summer did the black and white pig. Nice, Summer, that was so cute. Okay, so you cut that up. Even for my exercises, I even cut this up. So I actually have little baby exercises to go into, all right? So that's what we're using. I want you to know that you can use any kind of watercolors, right? We can have fancy kind, we can have expensive kind, we can have whatever we want. We can even have Crayola. It doesn't matter. You do not have to have expensive supplies to do this. You could even do this on regular paper. All right, I have a watercolor brush, and I had a question yesterday about watercolor brushes, and they were what do you keep your watercolor brushes in water, or can I actually use my watercolor brush with my acrylic brushes? And the answer is no. You do not want to do that. And I'm going to show you one reason why. So, y'all see this? This is a bristle brush. And so, do you see how, I don't know, well, it's ragged looking, right? And it's kind of hard. You don't want to put this type of brush into these little paints, okay? So what I want you to do is once you use something for acrylics meaning they are not waterproof, well, they are waterproof. Acrylics are waterproof. They will never go away. They are permanent. All right? Once you use a brush for that, I don't want you to use it for watercolor. So you save it. So I always have 2 sets of brushes, okay? Now, we're going to start with our little warm-up first, right? That's what we do. So the first thing that we do is we have to activate our brushes, right? Or not brushes, our paint. So how do I normally do that? I usually spray it with water. All right? And I keep a little spray bottle. It only has water in it, and I just spray it. If you don't have a spray bottle, all you've got to do is go into your water and then put it into the color. And then you're going to wipe it on the paper towel and then put it back into the water and then put it into the paint. You don't want to mix the colors. That is a very big rule in watercolor, all right? Okay, so today we are going to work on controlling the brush into fine little strokes. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to get some water on my brush just to make sure I have this activated, and I'm going to get some paint on my brush, and we're going to draw a big old S. And I'm going to go from one side to the next. All right, one big old S all the way down. And the side where the water, well, you ran out of paint on, the lighter color, I'm going to wash that out and I'm going to go to a different color. And I think we should try to stick with 2 colors today. It's sometimes easier. Actually, sometimes it's harder to do you see how I rotated my piece of paper? Oh, and I can't get much more, so I'm actually going to get more paint here. And I want to get really close to this blue line and not touch it with my paint at the same time. I want to follow this. I do not want the paint or the water to touch it. And I want you to follow that S curve all the way around. Now, it might take a little bit longer time than we're used to, right? Like that one was just really nice and big. But now, I'm going to do the same color on the other side of this one. this time I'm going to go, it doesn't really matter if it's up or down. Let's just say that. Whatever floats your boat here. How's that? Let's not have rules right now. Let's just have some fun. So I know some of you have been outside and done some sidewalk chalk. The neighbor kids did sidewalk chalk today, and it looks so much fun. I'm sure. So I used to do sidewalk chalk art professionally, and I had to do it, and I competed and that kind of stuff. And you would work all day. Like, I mean, we're talking almost 10 hours for 2 days. And then the next day, it would be completely gone because it rained that night. All right, and one of the things I'm saying about that is that that's called detachment. You can't get too attached to your artwork. You've got to, so I'm going into the blue paint next. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing. We are going to cover this entire thing just like this. And yes, Shannon, I'll show you some pictures of that. Oh, I think I got that wrong blue. Look at that. Okay, let's go back to the right blue. I'm just going to go right over it. And I'm going to try to get as neat as possible. Now, when it goes to the edge of the paper, I'm just going to pick up where I left off. All right? So, I'm going to come back here, and we're going to try. Now, what this is teaching you is, one, you don't have to have a whole lot of water on your brush to do this, right? And that's a good thing, because sometimes we have too much water on our brush, and when we have too much water on our brush, things start to bleed, and we don't have a lot of control. One of the reasons we're doing this it's because Mr. Nemo here has these fine little lines in him, right? So we need to be able to control ourselves around these lines. And that's why we are working on this today for our warm-up. Okay? And we're learning about how much water to put on our brush. We're learning how to hold the paintbrush. So I have done the blue, and I'm going to go into the yellow. Today, I'm doing the opposite of what we did yesterday. Yesterday, we were learning about blending colors. Today is all about keeping them separate. I saw some really pretty ones of these where they did variations of pink. And it was really, really pretty. It had some pinks and some reds in there. It was really pretty. This is a very good exercise if you are bored. And how many people are bored right now? It's also a good exercise. Well, one, it gets really pretty when it's finished. And then you can use this paper afterwards for something else. That's even prettier. Now, I'm getting really tight in here. I want us to pay attention to when we get into a tight spot. I want you to make sure that you still don't touch anything. And know that when you go between colors, you're always putting it on the paper towel first. All right? Going back into my blue, and I'm going to do that. Now, I'm going to have to be real careful in this blue color because it's getting really nice and tight. Have any of you all ever heard of Zentangles? Zentangles is a form of meditation and art together. So, most likely with Zentangles, it is done with a pen or pencil, a square piece of paper, and it's very similar to this. You sit here and you draw lines and lines and patterns over and over and over again. So I'm done with my blue, wiping it off on my paper towel. You know, sometime I'm going to have to actually get new paper towels, right? This is getting pretty dirty. That's okay. All right, I'm now going to come in. Now, I had a lot of water, and whoops, did you see that? Bleeding. That's what it's called when it runs into something else. It's called the paint bled. Is that right? Bled, bleeded. It's bled, isn't it? I don't know. I've never been really good at English. But, you know, all you students and teachers out there, you could correct me if you want. I'm all up for it. I did tell you when we were doing the giraffe, I never could figure out how to spell giraffe. Yeah, it was always a hard one. I remember my mother, giraffe. I did know how to spell pig, though, FYI. I just need to stay to 3-letter animals. What do you say? Dog, cat, pig. What else do we have that's 3 letters? Isn't it owl? Owl is one. Maybe that's what I should rebrand everything to. The 3-letter animal watercolor class. What do you think? Nemo wouldn't fit in, though. All right. I'm getting done. I'm almost finished. Is everybody else almost finished? Even if you're not almost finished, you could pick this up at any time to finish it if you want. Because I know we're all really actually more excited about Nemo than this little exercise. Now I'm going to do maybe one more blue here and I'm going to be finished. Oh, I did a nice little skinny one. Maybe not. How am I doing on my time? Perfect. I'm perfect on my time. That's fantastic. Oh, I forgot that spot. Let's go in here and do that. Okay. I'm going to do one more yellow and then I'm finished for sure. I can't fit any more in. And that one right there. Okay. That's the exercise. That was kind of fun. I like doing that kind of stuff. I like being able to just doodle with color like that. It's yummy. All right. So, we learned a few things. Anybody want to remember? 1, we learned how to control our paintbrush. 2, we learned how much water we should have on our brush as we do it so it doesn't bleed all over the place. 3, we learned how to make sure that the colors didn't touch each other. We wanted just a little bit of white in between it, okay? We also practiced making sure that we wiped our paintbrush off on our paper towel every time we switched colors. All right? Now, are we ready to draw Nemo? Yay! Now, everyone knows that my last name's Gill, so we have a thing for fish over here in this family. So I actually have a whole cabinet of nothing but fishes. They're fun. Some of them are glass, and some of them are actually wood. I've got jeweled ones. I've got all kinds of things. Okay, people. Oops, sorry about that, Facebook. I just whapped you. Okay, so let's talk about actually drawing this. I wanted to tell you all that I actually found this on a website called drawinghowtodraw.com. Drawinghowtodraw.com. And they have a whole lot of actual little lessons about how to draw things, a lot of Disney things. So you parents out there, you may want to check that out. Drawinghowtodraw.com. All right, so that's where we're going to go with this. Okay, Instagram, it said that it paused you for a minute, but hopefully it came back. Okay, so we're going to do this in a few little steps, all right? Stay with me. I want you to have your pencil ready and your eraser if you want to. I would say the best thing to do, I want you to try not to erase. And I want you to try to draw really lightly. Now, I'm going to draw more than that. Okay, so here we go. I am not going to divide my paper into thirds today. I am literally going to wing it. So in the middle of our piece of paper here, I'm going to, over here on the left-hand side, it's almost like the left half of the side, I'm going to draw a big old C. And I want you to watch me almost every time I do something first. And then I want you to do it. So now I want you to draw your C. All right, can you all see that? Yeah? I'm going to move that out of the way. Maybe that will help. How's that, Facebook? That better? Okay, and if you're having trouble seeing stuff because of the comments in Facebook, you can swipe it to the left or right, and it'll go somewhere. I don't know if you can do that in the actual Instagram, but there you go. All right, so we have done our C. Now we're going to do a couple other things. We are going to draw halfway in this, well, all right, lightly. I'm drawing a round thing. I'm drawing almost a tic-tac-toe. Not really. Okay, maybe, okay, I'm dividing it into 4 places. How's that? I'm doing that very lightly because you are going to want to erase this part, I promise. Now I'm going to do 2 eyeballs. Now, Disney has great eyeballs, right? So they are always these big old round circles. So let's make some circles. And if you notice, they are sitting on the bottom of that horizontal line there. Okay? Yeah. Next, we're going to draw some fins. Every little fish, you know, Nemo has that little baby fin, right? So we are going to do right underneath this line, we're going to draw just a little bit of a line there and a little line there. Okay? We're going to draw the next one. I know I'm going fast. I promise I'll pause. I can hear you all in there. I know I can hear it. Alright, we're going to draw a longer line and another line. And it's shorter than that first line. And that's where we're going to stay. Okay? So I want you to get all of that done. Are we with me? Are we getting almost the face of Nemo? See, I see Nemo. Do you see him? I just automatically see the rest of his body. He's like magically appearing. All right. Okay. I'm going to keep going. Are we with me? Yeah, maybe? That is one of the hardest parts about teaching these online classes is never being able to know whether or not y'all are with me or not. All right. So we're going to start with this baby fin over here on the left. He's got a little cut there, right? So I'm making a little cut and a little V. And that's all I'm going to do right now. Okay? And then I'm going to make his mouth. I'm literally working left to right here. So I'm going to start here. And Mr. Nemo is always smiling, isn't he? He's just a happy little fish. I saw a thing on Facebook the other day of this little girl who had a fish, caught a fish, and she goes, "It's okay, fish. It's okay." It was so cute. Okay, so now I'm going to wrap around this half for his other fin. Now, we need to get Nemo a body. That's next. So, in order to get our body, it is a V. So, it's actually almost similar to this little thing on his little fin, but it's bigger. So, I want you to pay attention to wherever you have this big fin. Like, I mean, maybe put a little dot right there in the middle. Y'all see that little dot? I don't know. That was kind of hard to see. I put a dot right above his fin. All right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to that dot, and then I'm going to come back up. All right. Looking good, looking good. Okay. Now, are we still with me? Yeah, hopefully. Okay, I'm going to draw some more eyeballs because Disney has great eyeballs, right? And I want you to pay attention. Look at how my eyeballs are just a little rough around the edges there, right? So I'm going to try to do it a little bit better than I did last time. Okay, so what I want us to do is we're going to draw 2 circles. So I'm drawing a circle inside this circle. And I'm going to draw his pupil. And I'm going to go ahead and draw it all in. I colored in the pupil. Okay. I'm going to do the same thing to the other eye. But he's not going to touch. I want him more in the middle. Okay, how we doing? Has your Nemo got eyes yet? Now, Nemo actually has a little bit of, he has teeth, kind of. And it's going to be up to you if you actually use the teeth or not. I barely had teeth. You see that? I barely had teeth. So, what you do for that is you come down a little bit and you just make, you see that? You don't make that little spot like that. Now he looks like he's got 1 tooth, but you just make a little, another banana boat. You repeat the shape. All right? Now what we're going to do is we have to make this white line here, okay? So, I want you to pay attention. It is kind of an L shape. Do you see that? But it's not a sharp. It's curved. It's rounded. Because fish are round, right? So here's what I want us to do. I want us to stop. Be right here. And I want to come in. I'm doing a straight line. I'm coming around. And I'm connecting him. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm repeating it. But I want it close enough that I can get my crayon in there if I wanted to. But you don't have to have a crayon, okay? I want you to know, you don't have to have a crayon. It's just really cool if you did. But obviously, the teacher wasn't prepared and does not have crayons at her house. I don't know how that's possible. I know I had crayons somewhere. I go through these fits where I clean and who knows what happens. Okay, now we're going to work on the rest of little Nemo's body here, okay? So I will say this might be getting a little too long, but we can work with that. We need to make some fins up here, all right? So it starts around here. And goes down there. It's almost like a heart. Y'all see that? It's almost like a heart. Okay. And we need to fix this bottom half. It's another C. Okay? And now we need to make these lines in here. So there are 4 lines that we're going to draw. So here we go. I'm going to start here, and they're not all straight lines. They're kind of curved. So there's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. And here's 4. Now yours might go all the way down, and that's okay. what we're doing is we are showing that his body is behind this fin. Okay? So we're showing depth right now by doing that. Maybe that'll work. All right. Now, there's a couple of little things we got to do. We're almost finished with little Nemo here. So, his fin, we need to connect this down here on his little broken one. And I'm seesawing. Do you all know how to seesaw? You scribbling. And I'm going to do the same up here, but not as sharp as I did down there. I'm going to do the same down here at the bottom too. And he actually has another black squiggle line right there, right? Okay, so I'm going to do that right there. He also has black on this fin. So I'm coming in and I'm going to make, and I'm following the shape that I already had, which was like a C. Okay? The curved shape. Now, Nemo has these lines on him. And that's going to be our next step. And really, all it is a bunch of lines. They don't need to connect to each other too much. You don't have to think about it too much. Repeat after me. I will not think about all these lines all the time, right? Yeah, we'll be okay. So we're going to do, I'm not really paying much attention, but I'm just drawing some lines. I'm starting at his head and going out. All right, that looks good to me. Next, we're going to do that same thing down here on his tail. All right, so his tail, we want to do these in almost like twos. Okay, so I want two close together, a little bit more space, and then two next to each other. So I'm going to come in here and I'm going to go 1, 2. And then I'm going to leave some more space and go 1, 2. And I'm going to go 1, 2. 1, 2. Do you all see how I'm not that concerned with them? This is just going to be practice for us to paint with. And now we've got this little baby fin. I know I'm going too fast. I can hear you. I know, I can hear you. It's like you're in my ear going, wait, wait. So this one is more of, it's going to be kind of lines, but it's kind of a C shape. You see how this is a C shape? 1, 2, 3. And then 1, 2, 3. And 1, 2, 3. Yeah, you have to make those little sounds. Don't you love that? Okay, so I'm going to start with the bottom and move to the top. All right, so I'm coming here and I'm going to do this. I'm going to try to do this as many times as I can without the lines touching each other. Ooh, it's going to be difficult. There's 1. Here's 2. I can rotate my piece of paper if I want. That is important. You do not have to keep your paper completely still. Up and down. And up and down. And that is my Nemo. That's perfect. Yeah. Y'all see it? Now, I'm going to erase a few things. I'm going to erase this line here. The good thing about this is painting this little buddy is pretty fun. Because guess what? it's only 2 colors. He's only orange and black. Because why? How do we get white in watercolor? Does anyone remember? It's the paper. The paper is the actual way we get white. All right. Here we go. Are we ready to start painting? Yes, maybe. We can always work on it some more, okay? It's okay. I would rather you start, okay? So here's the thing. If you have your, what do you call it? What did I say that you needed? A white crayon. I'm going to go ahead and do this. It does not work with this, but I'm going to do it anyways. Trying to get my pencil. I have a white pencil, but this, you're going to imagine that this is a white crayon. And I want you to paint, or, well, draw everywhere with white where you think white is on Nemo, which is in his eyeballs, that little circle right here. You're not going to be able to see what you're doing. That's kind of the point. It's kind of a secret. So I am drawing in there. Each one of these lines in here also are white. So I am just I'm going to color in white lines. Now, this right here, these things, I want you to see that there's only 2 streaks of white. Y'all see that? So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to paint inside here, realizing that I've got room for black. So, I'm just kind of winging it. And it's going to surprise me when I'm done. I love surprises in art. All right, so I've done the eyes. I've done this line around his face. I've done inside his body. I'm going to do a little bit next to the end of this fin. Can't see it, can you? That's the point. And then I'm going to do this whole little section right here. Okay, and I am just coloring it in, nothing real fancy here. Okay. Oh, what about his teeth? We should probably do his teeth. Now, if you did not have a pencil to do that with, I want you to know that when you go to paint, you are not painting in the places that we said were white. That's why we did our first exercise where we had to learn how to make sure we did not touch. All right, are we ready? Okay, so I am going to go get orange because what? He is orange, right? Little Nemo is an orange little fish. He's not necessarily a koi, is he? Is he a koi? I don't know. So I'm going into my orange. So I've got my orange paint and I'm coming in here and now I'm going to paint everywhere I think is going to be orange, which is the following. Let's start with his eyeballs. We're going to paint real nice and easy here in those eyes. No, I'm going to go a little bit faster here because I want you all to be able to see everything I'm doing. So know that if you get behind, all you've got to do is wait for just a little bit, and then if you go to Facebook, I do have all of the recordings there, and I actually have them on my YouTube channel too. So you can watch them, and I have them on my website also. So I am literally just painting his face orange. And I'm not going back too much into the water every time because I'm dealing with just one color. You see that? I got a little messy there. Be real easy and real easy around those eyeballs because you don't want your eyes to look like my eyes. He looks a little sick. We don't want that. So, I'm drawing that. And believe it or not, inside his mouth is orange too. Just not his teeth. Okay. I'm coming up here, doing the rest of his body. I'm paying real close attention here that I don't get in all of those places where I said I wanted white. Alright, so I'm being real careful. This whole fin, this whole front fin is orange. And you could paint even where the black part is orange. And that would work too. Because, you want to know why? Remember yesterday when we were doing this, I said something to the effect of the darker color always paints over the light color. Well, black is definitely darker, right? So that would be why. Now, there's only one section right here in between here. Between those lines that are actually orange. Alright. And I'm coming in here. And I have now painted my whole fish orange. Now, I'm seeing Nemo. Are y'all seeing him? How cute is he? He's so cute. Now, what I'm going to do is, we have 20 minutes. I might not get to do my line drawings, but, you know, yesterday, Ruby said, she goes, I really like it when I take my pen to it. But she learned that you kind of have to take your pen to it after it's dry. And it works really, really well. So here's what we're going to do. I'm now going back over with some more orange. Alright? So I am going to go back over. I'm making some places darker. So I'm coming down here to the bottom of him. And I'm going to put some round, darker orange. This is called shading. So, we're shading. And I'm going to now, when I get into this first one, instead of painting all of it, I'm learning how to control my brush. And I'm only going inside those lines. See, we had to learn how to get really little lines in order to do that. That's why we practiced that. We're going to do the same thing up here at the top. Going to make him a little darker. In the very, very top part right there. I'm going to get some more paint. I did not go get more water. You might need to, but be very careful to not get too much. And I'm going to pick and choose every once in a while one of those fin spots. Alright? I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do the same thing. Remember we talked about doing those in twos? So I'm actually going to paint in between those twos. Which, I'll be honest with you, it gets confusing for me. So don't think that it has to be perfect. And I am doing it all the way to that fin and all the way. Yeah. There he looks. Do y'all see Nemo yet? Maybe. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to outline this part. Nemo, the way Disney has drawn it, he kind of has a nose here. He's got some more shading around his eyes. So that's why I'm painting around his eyes. I'm going to give the orange a rest. Remember we talked about things having to give things a rest? One of the ways we do that is we're going to move on to something different. Thank you, Mo Dress Painter. I'm going to now go into black. So I've cleaned my brush really good. I don't have a lot of water on my brush, but I do have a lot of paint on my brush. If you're scared, the best thing to do is to come over here and put a little bit on the paper towel. And now I'm going to come over here and add a little bit to this baby Finn. I'm going to put some on his pupil. It might bleed. It's okay if it does. Watercolor does that. And now I'm going to come in here and do this. Now, this is the key. If you had your white brush, your white crayon, this would stay white. And that's because wax and water don't mix. And it's fantastic. It's a great experiment. So you do it with white and then you try to paint over it and all of a sudden you see it. Now, mine, of course, isn't going to work since I don't have any crayons. Can you believe that? I just can't believe that. I'm very disappointed in myself. I'm trying really hard to control myself so I have a little bit of white space between all of this white lines for Nemo. And you need to take your time doing this because you're not going to like it if you rush through it. You're going to say, this doesn't look like Nemo. Well, one, we're not Disney. Two, if you wanted Nemo perfect, then you should just go buy Nemo, right? And three, we're learning. All right, you see that? I'm seeing Nemo. Facebook over there, how you doing? I'm coming over here and I'm only painting this little section right here for Nemo. And I'm leaving that white. Now that I'm finished with this part, I'm going to wipe off my brush, clean it as good as possible. So I'm putting it on my brush, on my paper towel, and I'm going to the water. Now, I am resting. When I say he needs to rest, the paint needs to dry a little. So this is when we're going to start working on the background. So, here's what we're going to do with that. I am going to get a lot of water on my brush. I'm going to come in here to a dark blue. I'm going to start down here at the bottom. Do y'all see how look at how I'm actually holding my paintbrush. Loosen up. Have some fun. Now, don't make it splatter everywhere, people. I mean, you don't want to make a mess. But don't be so serious. Art's not serious. Try not to get it into him. See, I had to slow down there. I couldn't even talk as I did that. Okay, so I've done half of him. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to wipe off my brush. And I'm going to go to a different blue. Not the same blue, but a different one. It's a lighter blue. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm working on those blending techniques almost. I'm getting it right in there in the middle. And I'm combining the two. I'm being real careful. There you go. See? Now he's starting to look like he's in the ocean. He needs to be in the ocean. Not in that fish tank, right? How many of you have a fish tank? Y'all have fish tanks? I don't have a fish tank. We had one. We wanted one, but it did not work out for us. Okay, do you see how I'm adding water to it? And do you see how it's doing this thing where it's bowing? Well, that means I have a lot of water on this piece of paper. Okay? Now I'm going to show what I showed yesterday. You all, I know, don't have it, but I'm wasting time here, so you all can catch up. So I've got a little heat tool here, and I want you to watch this space right here. So if I do this, I think you can still hear me. I'm pretty sure you can. You do this. Do you see how it's flattening out? It's almost touching my finger. Now, do not do this at home because it will burn your finger. And now I've got a flat piece of paper again. Bingo. So the key to that is that if you get too much water on your paper, you could just walk away and come back and it'll be flat again. So I am okay with what's going on here, but I want it even brighter. So what did I say about watercolors? Watercolors are layers and layers and layers. So I'm going to come back in and I'm actually going to make some places a little bit darker. So I'm using orange again. And I'm coming in where I think it should be darker. And I am going to paint in those places again. So the more you do these layers like this, and the more, now you see how this is really sharp? Like I want that blended a little bit. Now remember, what would I do to blend that? I'm going to add water. So I get a little bit of water in my brush, come over here, and puts a puddle of it right there. And do you see how I can move it around now? That's fun. I'm going to add a little bit to little baby Finn here. And that's nice. All right. I'm now going to come over here and get some more water or paint. I'm going to do the same thing up here at the top. I'm going to do every other one of these little things on the fins. Those aren't scales. I don't know what they are. And I'm coming in, adding a little bit like that. I'm adding some at the bottom and some at the top. I'm trying to stay away from that middle mark because I want him to have kind of a rounded shape. Now, I'm going to tell you something here. I think I should have squeezed in a little bit right here because I feel like he's really fat right here on this one. So if I had to do it over again, which, hey, you know what? I think you should all do it over again. I think it's great practice. More practice you get, the better off you are. That's right. Practice makes progress. Yes, it does. All right. I'm continuing adding this. I'm about to go add more black. I'm literally forgetting about the white. I don't care about it. There's a purpose for that because remember, the white is the white of the actual paper. This bugs me a little bit. I'm going to have to put some, there you go. That worked nicely. Okay, I'm going to go into some black. I don't have a lot of paint on my brush. I'll tell you this, Instagram might be cutting me off soon. So, I'm going to hurry up just a tad bit. And I'm going back over my blacks and I'm making them even darker. And that's what we do. We keep on adding over and over again on top of things, and that's how we get it brighter and brighter and brighter. It's also why I like doing it with a pen too, is that means my blacks can get even darker. But you have to do that when it's actually dry. Okay, now, alright, some things here. I will be here tomorrow. I think we're going to do fun doodling. I think we're going to do flower doodling. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's what I kind of think we're going to do. and that all of these replays are on my Facebook page. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more blue to this because I want it even darker. So I'm going to add some more blue to it. And I wanted the dark on the bottom on purpose because, you know, when you're in an actual ocean, it's darker at the bottom, isn't it? Okay, and other than that, I will see you tomorrow. Friday, I think we're going to do pirates for sure. I think we're going to do pirates. You know, maybe we should do birds, so we could do a bird and a pirate on Friday. That's asking for a lot. I don't know about that. What we could do is, though, we could do a bird tomorrow, and then a pirate, and then on Monday we cut it out and we put it all together and we have a masterpiece. What do you think? I like the sound of that. We might do that. Okay. But I do know that some people are wanting to do that doodling. Okay, so I am in love. I like this. I would keep working this to get this orange even darker, and that's what I would keep doing. Does anybody have any questions today? If you have any questions, I'm sitting here, I'm listening until this turns off and I can't see you anymore. So tell me if you have any questions. I'm getting my pen out, my special pen, because I love my pens. It's a Uniball Signo Bold 207. I'm going to come in here. Oh, it's too wet. It's way too wet. I should have known better. Make sure you sign your work, though. That's important. So here you go. Make sure you sign your work. I use my initials. And, oh, do you see his mouth is black? I didn't do that. I needed to do that. I'm going to come in here and make this black down here. All right. That looks cute. Okay. And that, my friends, is Nemo. Go watch Nemo. That's what I say. Go watch Nemo. And I will see you all tomorrow. If there's no questions, I don't see any questions. I see people, but I don't see... I bet you all are all... Would love to see your actual stuff. So if you do it, tag me. Send me your photos. It's so much fun to see them. Everyone loved our little piggies yesterday. So send me your Nemos. All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. I think we're going to do birds. Maybe a little parrot. All right, bye, guys.